As the gentle waves lapped softly against the grand hull of the RMS Titanic, the vast ocean stretched out in every direction, a seemingly endless expanse of deep blue. It was the year 1912, a time when ocean liners were the pinnacle of luxury and engineering marvel. The ship, a floating palace, was on its maiden voyage across the Atlantic, a journey filled with promise and anticipation. On board were passengers from all walks of life, each carrying their own hopes and dreams, as well as the weight of the lives they had left behind. Among these travelers was a young woman named Clara, her heart filled with the excitement of a new beginning. She was traveling to America, a land she had only ever heard about in stories, a place where opportunity awaited those willing to seek it. Clara's cabin, though modest, felt like a sanctuary. The soft glow of the lamp on her small bedside table cast a warm, cozy light, illuminating her few belongings with a gentle shimmer. The rhythmic hum of the ship's engines provided a steady, comforting backdrop, like a lullaby sung by the sea itself. In another part of the ship, a gentleman named Thomas was enjoying a quiet moment on the promenade deck. The brisk sea air invigorated his senses, and he watched as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. Thomas, a seasoned traveler, found solace in the vastness of the ocean. It was a reminder of the world beyond, of endless possibilities and the adventures that lay ahead. He was on this journey not only for business, but also to reunite with family, whose faces he had not seen in many years. Down in the third-class quarters, a young boy named Jack was experiencing the thrill of his life. To him, the Titanic was a playground of endless corridors and hidden nooks. Jack's family had saved for years to make this voyage, hoping for a fresh start in a new land. His laughter echoed through the halls as he played with newfound friends, the sound mingling with the gentle creaks and groans of the ship. For Jack, every moment was filled with wonder, and the promise of adventure lay just beyond each door. The air on the ship was filled with the soft murmur of conversations, the clinking of glasses, and the occasional strains of music from the grand dining halls. It was a world of elegance and camaraderie, where strangers became friends, and stories were shared under the flickering glow of chandeliers. As the Titanic sailed steadily into the night, the stars above twinkled like 1,000 tiny lanterns, guiding the way through the velvet expanse. In these quiet moments, each passenger found their thoughts drifting gently, like the ship itself, toward dreams of what lay ahead. Clara, Thomas, and Jack, though from different backgrounds and with different destinations in mind, were united by the journey, by the shared experience of crossing the vast ocean. The night wrapped around them like a comforting blanket, and as the ship sailed onward, the promise of a new day awaited, filled with the possibilities of new beginnings and the continuation of their stories. As sleep beckoned, the steady rhythm of the sea provided a soothing backdrop, lulling all aboard into a peaceful slumber. The Titanic, a marvel of its time, continued its voyage, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of those who journeyed within its grand walls. With each passing moment, the gentle sway of the ocean cradled them into restful sleep, a momentary pause on their path to the future. And so, under the watchful gaze of the stars, the ship sailed on, a beacon of hope and adventure on the tranquil waters of the Atlantic. Amidst the gentle sway of the Titanic's passage, the ship's passengers found themselves enveloped in the luxurious comforts of their surroundings. Clara, a young woman traveling with her family, felt the soft fabric of her evening dress against her skin, a creation of delicate lace and fine silk that had been carefully chosen for the journey. The dress, though simple in its elegance, spoke of the hopes her family held for new beginnings in America. As she moved through the ship's corridors, the soft rustle of her skirts was a constant companion, a reminder of the world she was leaving behind and the new one she was about to enter. In the dining saloon, the clinking of fine china and the soft murmur of conversation filled the air, creating a symphony of everyday life that was both soothing and familiar. The tables were adorned with crisp white linens, and the gentle glow of candlelight flickered across the polished silverware, casting a warm and inviting light over the room. Meals aboard the Titanic were an experience to savor, each dish a testament to the culinary skills of the ship's chefs. Clara found herself enchanted by the array of flavors, the rich sauces and expertly prepared meats that graced her plate, each bite a small comfort amid the vastness of the sea. Meanwhile, in a different part of the ship, Thomas, a young engineer, marveled at the intricate machinery that powered the Titanic. The hum of the engines was a constant presence, a steady rhythm that underscored the ship's journey. Thomas often found himself drawn to the engine room, where the heat from the boilers and the smell of coal dust were reminders of the industrious world that lay beneath the ship's elegant exterior. Here, the tools of his trade were his companions, the wrenches and gauges, the polished brass and gleaming steel, each with its own purpose, each a piece of the larger puzzle that made the Titanic a marvel of modern engineering. As the ship continued its journey, Jack, a young man traveling in third class, found comfort in the simple routines of daily life. His clothing, though not as fine as Clara's, was well worn and practical, a testament to the hard work and determination that had brought him this far. The sturdy fabric of his coat was a familiar weight on his shoulders, a reminder of the journey he had undertaken and the new opportunities that awaited him in America. The third-class dining room, though more modest than the grand saloons above, was filled with the warmth of camaraderie and shared stories. The simple meals of bread and cheese, hearty stews, and steaming cups of tea were a welcome respite from the chill of the ocean air. Here, Jack found himself surrounded by fellow travelers, each with their own dreams and aspirations, each bound by the shared experience of crossing the ocean in search of a better life. As day turned to night, the ship's passengers prepared for sleep, the gentle rocking of the Titanic lulling them into a state of calm. Clara, Thomas, and Jack, though separated by class and circumstance, were united by the rhythm of the sea, the shared experience of the journey that lay before them. In their own ways, each found solace in the familiar textures of daily life, the softness of a blanket, the warmth of a meal, the steady beat of the ship's engines as they drifted into a peaceful slumber, cradled by the vast expanse of the Atlantic Ocean. The night air was cool and crisp, carrying with it the scent of salt and the promise of new horizons. The stars above twinkled with a gentle brilliance, their distant glow a reminder of the vastness of the universe and the smallness of the ship navigating its waters. In these quiet moments, the Titanic was more than just a vessel. It was a symbol of hope and adventure, a bridge between the past and the future. And so, as the ship sailed onward through the night, Clara, Thomas, and Jack, along with their fellow passengers, were carried closer to their dreams, the weight of their hopes and aspirations as tangible as the textures that surrounded them. In the stillness of the night, the Titanic continued its journey, a beacon of possibility on the tranquil waters of the Atlantic. The gentle hum of the engines resonated through the ship's steel frame, creating a steady rhythm that lulled passengers into a sense of security and serenity. Within the grand halls and intimate cabins, the textures of everyday life were woven into the very fabric of their voyage. The starched crispness of linen napkins, the soft brush of silk gowns, and the tactile warmth of woolen blankets wrapped around sleeping forms all contributed to the sensory symphony of life aboard the Titanic. In the first-class dining room, the clinking of fine china and the delicate chime of crystal glasses formed an elegant backdrop to the sumptuous meals served to the ship's elite. The silverware, polished to a mirror-like sheen, felt cool and reassuring in one's hand as it sliced through tender cuts of lamb or gently scooped up velvety spoonfuls of caviar. Each bite was a crescendo of flavors, rich and refined, accompanied by the bubbling effervescence of champagne that danced across the palate. Elsewhere, in the ship's bustling kitchens, the clatter of pots and pans was a testament to the culinary artistry unfolding behind the scenes. Chefs in pristine whites moved with practiced precision, their hands deftly crafting pastries that flaked at the touch and sauces that simmered to perfection. The aroma of fresh bread, warm and inviting, drifted through the corridors, mingling with the salty tang of the sea air that seeped in from the open decks. In second class, the textures were no less vivid, though perhaps more homely and familiar. The sturdy wood of communal dining tables was worn smooth by countless gatherings. Each meal a tapestry of shared experiences and stories, exchanged over hearty stews and simple, comforting dishes. The clink of ceramic mugs filled with steaming tea or coffee was a comforting sound, a reminder of home and hearth, even miles away from land. Down in steerage, the atmosphere was lively and communal, filled with the laughter and chatter of families and friends embarking on a new chapter of their lives. The rough wool of travelers' coats, the patchwork of fabrics in well-worn clothing, and the sturdy leather of boots spoke of resilience and endurance. Here, the meals were humble but satisfying, the bread dense and nourishing, the broth warm and filling, a testament to the simple pleasures that sustained them on their journey. Throughout the ship, the tools and implements of daily life took on a character of their own, each with a story to tell. The weighty iron keys carried by the ship's crew, jangling softly as they moved through the corridors, were symbols of responsibility and order. In the hands of the passengers, a well-thumbed book or a beloved toy offered comfort and distraction, the familiar textures grounding them in moments of solitude or reflection. In the quiet hours of the night, as the ship sailed steadily onward, these everyday textures became the threads that connected the lives of all aboard. Each object, each surface, held a memory, a whisper of the past, or a promise of the future. The cool brass of a doorknob, the soft leather of a journal, the roughness of a rope coiled on deck, all were reminders of the tangible world, grounding dreams and desires in the here and now. As the Titanic cut through the vast expanse of ocean, the passengers nestled into their bunks and cabins, surrounded by the comforting textures of home and hope. The gentle sway of the ship was a cradle, rocking them into dreams of what awaited on the other side of the Atlantic. The night sky, a canopy of endless stars, stretched above them, a reminder of the infinite possibilities that lay ahead. In that moment, the Titanic was not just a ship, but a world unto itself, carrying with it the myriad textures of human experience. Each thread woven into its journey was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a tapestry of life that would forever be etched into history. As the ship sailed on, as the Titanic continued its majestic voyage across the Atlantic, the weather played a silent but significant role in shaping the daily rhythms on board. The ocean's breath was cool and bracing, mingling with the fresh salt air that danced lightly across the decks. It was early April, a time of transition between the lingering chill of winter and the tentative promise of spring. The skies above were often a soft, muted gray, with only occasional glimpses of blue as the clouds drifted lazily by, like gentle giants of the sky. The air, though crisp, was invigorating, encouraging passengers to wrap themselves in warm coats as they strolled along the promenade, their laughter mingling with the sound of waves lapping against the ship's hull. In the mornings, a fine mist sometimes enveloped the ship, shrouding it in a veil of mystery and quietude. It was during these hours that passengers found solace in the ship's cozy interiors, where the warmth of a crackling fire could be found in the elegant lounges and reading rooms. The scent of freshly brewed coffee wafted through the air, mingling with the soft rustle of newspapers and the gentle hum of conversation. Here, the weather outside was but a whisper, a distant memory as the comforts of luxury cocooned them in a world of refinement and ease. For the crew, the weather dictated a rhythm of its own. The sailors, accustomed to the whims of the sea, navigated the ever-changing conditions with practiced ease. They adjusted sails and tightened ropes, their hands deftly working amidst the cool breeze. The officers, vigilant on the bridge, kept a watchful eye on the horizon, ensuring the ship's course remained true. Below deck, the engineers toiled in the warmth of the engine room, the pulse of the ship's heart beating steadily, a counterpoint to the chill outside. As the days passed, the sun began to assert itself with greater confidence, casting a gentle warmth that beckoned passengers outdoors. Families gathered on deck, children chasing each other in playful abandon, while adults lounged in deck chairs, basking in the sun's embrace. The air was punctuated by the sound of seagulls, their cries echoing across the vast expanse of ocean, as if reminding all of their journey's maritime nature. The evenings brought a different kind of magic, as the setting sun painted the sky with hues of gold and rose. The chill returned, a reminder of the sea's untamed nature, prompting passengers to draw their shawls and blankets closer as they watched the horizon swallow the sun. It was at these times that the ship's musicians played softly, their melodies drifting through the evening air, weaving a tapestry of sound that mingled with the lapping waves. Below deck, the steerage passengers, though less shielded from the whims of the weather, found ways to create warmth and comfort. Families gathered in common spaces, sharing stories and songs that spoke of home and hearth. A young woman, one of the three souls whose journey we follow, found solace in writing a letter to her family. She described the weather, the sea's moods, and the camaraderie formed with fellow travelers. Her pen traced familiar words on paper, each stroke a connection to the loved ones she hoped to reunite with on distant shores. "The sea is vast and unending," she wrote, "yet in its embrace I find a sense of peace. The ship is a world unto itself, carrying us gently towards our dreams. The weather, ever changing, is a reminder of the journey's transient nature, but also of the beauty that lies in each moment. I am well, and my heart is full of hope." As the night descended, the ship's gentle sway lulled everyone into a peaceful slumber. The weather, a constant companion, was a reminder of the world outside, vast and unpredictable, yet also a source of wonder and serenity. The stars, once more, emerged to keep watch over the Titanic, their light a beacon of continuity amidst the shifting seas. And so, as the ship sailed steadily onward, the weather continued to shape their experience, a quiet presence in the grand tapestry of their journey. The crew became attuned to the subtle cues of the sky, the whispers of the winds, and the murmurs of the sea, each an intimate part of their daily existence. The weather, ever-changing and ever-present, dictated their routines and influenced their moods. In the warmer months, when the sun hung high and golden in the sky, the deck was a place of laughter and camaraderie. The sailors would gather to share stories, their faces kissed by the sun, the air filled with the scent of salt and sea. These were days of lightness, where time seemed to stretch, and the horizon was a promise of adventures yet to come. But as the seasons shifted, so too did the rhythm of their days. The cooling winds of autumn brought with them a crispness that invigorated the senses. The sails, once slack in the summer breeze, now billowed with a newfound urgency, propelling them forward with a sense of purpose. The crew, clad in heavier garments, found comfort in the warmth of the galley, where the cook would prepare hearty stews and fresh-baked bread, their aroma weaving through the ship like a comforting embrace. Evenings were spent gathered around the hearth, the flickering flames casting shadows that danced in time with the tales spun by the seasoned sailors. With winter's approach, the ship became a sanctuary against the biting cold and tempestuous seas. The days grew shorter, the sun a fleeting visitor in the sky, and the nights stretched long and dark. The weather turned fierce, the winds howling like a pack of wolves, the waves crashing against the hull with relentless force. Yet, within the wooden confines of their vessel, there was warmth and light, the glow of lanterns, the shared warmth of bodies, the gentle strumming of a guitar offering soothing melodies against the storm's roar. The crew found solace in routine, each task a small ritual that bound them together in resilience and hope. Spring arrived with a gentle whisper, a softening of the winds, a warming of the air. The sea, once turbulent, turned a deep, tranquil blue, and the ship seemed to glide upon its surface with an ease that matched the lighter spirits of the crew. The promise of renewal was tangible, as flowers of the sea, delicate and vibrant, bloomed in the ship's wake, a testament to nature's enduring cycle of life. Spirits lifted with the changing tide, and the crew found joy in simple pleasures, a shared meal, the sight of a distant shore, the songs of birds heralding the return of warmth and light. Through these cycles of weather and season, the crew learned to flow with nature's whims, embracing each change with a quiet acceptance. Their routines, shaped by the climate, became a dance of adaptation and harmony. The ship, a small world unto itself, mirrored the greater world beyond, where seasons guided the rhythms of life with an unerring hand. As they sailed on, the crew's connection to the weather deepened, an unspoken understanding that bound them to the elements. In the gentle rains of spring, they found renewal. In the fierce gales of winter, they discovered strength. In the golden light of summer, they embraced joy. And in the crisp air of autumn, they found reflection. The weather, once a mere backdrop, became a central character in their journey, a reminder of nature's power and beauty, and their place within its vast, unending cycle. And so, with each passing day, as the ship continued its journey across the seas, the crew carried with them the lessons of the weather, a quiet but ever-present teacher in the grand tapestry of their voyage. The climate shaped their lives in ways both profound and subtle, a constant reminder of the interconnectedness of all things, the delicate balance that sustains life, and the enduring spirit of adventure that propels them ever onward. As the ship glided steadily across the vast expanse of the Atlantic, a sense of tranquility settled over its passengers and crew. The ocean, a seemingly endless horizon of shifting blues and grays, stretched out in all directions, its surface occasionally rippling with the gentle caress of a breeze. The rhythm of the sea, a constant companion, provided a soothing backdrop to the journey, its ceaseless rise and fall lulling all aboard into a serene state of calm. On deck, the travelers moved with a purposeful grace, their steps in tune with the ship's steady pace. Each footfall was a reminder of the passage of time, a silent measure of distance, covered and yet to be traveled. The ship itself was a microcosm of life, a bustling community of souls, each with their own stories and destinations, yet all bound together by the shared experience of this journey. In the quiet moments, the passengers found solace in the gentle sway of the ship, their thoughts drifting like the clouds above. For some, the voyage was a time of reflection, a chance to ponder the paths that had brought them here and the new beginnings that awaited. For others, it was a time of anticipation, each day bringing them closer to the promise of a new world, a land of opportunity and dreams. Among them, three figures stood out, their stories weaving through the fabric of the voyage. There was Eleanor, a woman of quiet strength, whose eyes held the wisdom of a life well lived. She often found herself at the ship's rail, gazing out at the endless sea, her thoughts drifting back to the loved ones she had left behind, the letters she had penned in moments of longing, now her only connection to home. Nearby was Thomas, a young man filled with a restless energy, eager for the adventures that lay ahead. He spent his days exploring every corner of the ship, his curiosity leading him to discover the intricate workings of this floating marvel. With each new discovery, his excitement grew, the journey a tapestry of experiences that he would carry with him into the future. And there was Margaret, a woman of gentle spirit and quiet determination. Her heart was full of hope, her mind filled with dreams of the life she would build in the new world. She often sought solace in the company of others, her warmth and kindness drawing people to her like a beacon in the night. As the days passed, the travelers settled into the rhythm of the journey, their routines becoming as familiar as the steady beat of the ship's engines. Morning brought the promise of a new day, the sun rising over the horizon in a blaze of color, painting the sky with hues of pink and gold. The air was crisp and invigorating, a reminder of the vastness of the ocean and the smallness of their vessel upon it. Each day unfolded with a comforting predictability. Meals taken in the dining saloon where conversations flowed as freely as the tea. The clinking of cutlery and the murmur of voices created a symphony of everyday life, a reminder of the connections that bound them all together. As evening fell, the ship was bathed in the soft glow of lanterns, their light casting gentle shadows that danced across the decks. The night sky, a canopy of stars, stretched out above, a reminder of the infinite possibilities that lay ahead. The travelers found solace in the quiet moments, their thoughts turning to the future, the promise of new beginnings guiding them onward. With each passing day, the ship drew closer to its destination, the journey a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of hope. The travelers, each with their own stories and dreams, were united by the shared experience of this voyage, their lives forever intertwined by the journey across the sea. And so they sailed on, the ship a beacon of hope on the vast ocean, its passengers carried forward by the rhythm of the waves and the promise of a new world waiting just beyond the horizon. As they sailed, they began to imagine what the new world might hold. Each day was marked by the gentle rise and fall of the ocean, a dance that lulled the travelers into a sense of calm and anticipation. The salt air filled their lungs, and the cries of seabirds punctuated the endless sky, their wings gliding effortlessly on the wind. Every night, they gathered on deck under a canopy of stars, sharing tales of the lands they had left behind and dreams of those yet to come. When at last the ship reached the distant shore, the travelers stepped onto solid ground with trembling legs, their hearts swelling with excitement. The land stretched out before them, a tapestry of rolling hills and dense forests, inviting exploration and adventure. And so, the journey continued, not by sea, but across the virgin landscape that awaited their footsteps. The rhythm of travel shifted as they moved inland, the gentle sway of the ship replaced by the steady thud of boots on earth. Each step forward was a claim staked in this new territory, a beat in the symphony of discovery. The path was often rugged and untamed, winding through valleys and over hills, the horizon always promising something new just beyond reach. Some days, they traveled by horse, feeling the powerful surge of muscle beneath them as they galloped across open plains. The wind rushed past, carrying with it the scent of wildflowers and the distant call of a river. The horses' hooves drummed a steady cadence into the ground, and the travelers felt a deep connection to the land, as if the very earth were welcoming them with each stride. At times, the journey slowed to the pace of a wagon, its wooden wheels creaking and groaning along dusty trails. The travelers would sit huddled together, sharing stories and laughter, their voices mingling with the rhythmic clatter of the wagon. These moments offered a chance to rest and reflect, the landscape unfolding slowly around them, revealing its secrets one turn at a time. As they moved deeper into the land, they encountered a myriad of landscapes: lush meadows where wildflowers bloomed in riotous color, dense forests where sunlight filtered through a canopy of leaves, and towering mountains that challenged their resolve. Each new terrain brought its own rhythm, a unique tempo that dictated the pace of their journey. In the meadows, they walked leisurely, taking in the beauty around them, their steps synchronized with the gentle swaying of grasses and the soft hum of insects. The forest paths were quieter, their footfalls muffled by the thick carpet of leaves, the air cool and fragrant with pine. And in the mountains, every step was deliberate and careful, the altitude testing their endurance but rewarding them with breathtaking views that spurred them onward. Throughout their travels, they found solace in the simple routines of the journey. The morning's first light would signal the start of another day's adventure, the sun casting long shadows as they packed up camp and set off once more. At midday, they would pause to rest and share a meal, the food a simple yet satisfying reward for their efforts. And as evening fell, they would set up camp once again, the flickering firelight, a beacon of warmth and camaraderie in the encroaching dark. The rhythm of travel became a part of them, a steady pulse that guided their days and filled their nights with dreams of what lay ahead. Each step, each mile, brought them closer to a future they had only dared to imagine, a place where they could build a new life, free and full of promise. And so they journeyed on, through forest and field, over mountain and stream, their spirits buoyed by the promise of the new world and the song of the land itself. The rhythm of travel was their constant companion, a reminder that the journey was as important as the destination, and that each step forward was a testament to their courage and hope. As the journey continued, the travelers found themselves immersed in the gentle art of letter writing, a practice that offered a bridge across the vast distances separating them from loved ones left behind. In the quiet moments of evening, when the day's travels had ended and the world seemed to pause in a breathless hush, they would gather their thoughts and reach for paper and pen. The flickering light of a lantern cast a warm glow over their makeshift desks, perhaps a flat stone or a wooden crate, transforming the mundane into a space of possibility. The letters they penned were filled with the minutiae of daily life, details that might seem ordinary to an outsider, but held profound meaning to the recipients. As the ink flowed, so too did their stories, capturing the essence of the journey in words that would travel much farther than they themselves could. In that moment, the act of writing became a ritual, a moment of reflection where they could distill their experiences into something tangible, something that could be held and cherished. It was a way to reach out, to touch the hearts of those they missed, to share in the triumphs and trials of each day. One such letter might begin with a simple salutation, a gentle greeting that encompassed the warmth of their affection. "Dear Mary," it might say, the words unfolding like a petal opening to the sun, each line a thread weaving together the tapestry of their days. The journey continues at its steady pace, and each day brings new sights and sounds that I long to share with you. I hope this letter finds you well and brings a little of our adventure into your life. The letters often spoke of the landscapes they traversed, the rolling hills and distant mountains, the forests that whispered with secrets, and the rivers that sang as they flowed. "We crossed a great river today," they might write, its waters swift and determined, much like our own hearts as we press on. The air was crisp and carried the scent of pine, a reminder of the forests we left behind. Such details brought the journey to life, painting pictures in the minds of those who read them, allowing them to travel alongside, if only in spirit. Beyond the descriptions of the world around them, the letters also carried the weight of emotion, the longing for home, and the hope for the future. "I miss your voice," one might confess, the way it rises and falls like a gentle melody. "I carry it with me as we move forward, a comforting presence in the silence of the night." The letters were more than mere communication. They were vessels of connection, carrying with them the love and dreams of those who wrote them. In the act of writing, the travelers found solace, a momentary escape from the challenges of the road. They poured their hearts onto the page, each word a testament to their resilience and determination. The letters became treasures, tokens of affection that would be read and reread, their edges softening with time and handling. For those who received them, the letters were a lifeline, a tangible connection to those they held dear. Each envelope bore the marks of its journey, the stamps and smudges a testament to the distance it had traveled. And when they finally arrived, they were opened with a kind of reverence, the words within eagerly anticipated and savored. "Dearest John," a reply might begin, "your words are a balm to my soul, a reminder that though miles may separate us, our hearts remain ever close. Your descriptions of the land are like windows through which I can glimpse your world, and I hold each letter close, as though it were a piece of you." In this exchange, the letters bridged the gap between past and present, between the known and the unknown. They provided comfort in the knowledge that, somewhere far away, someone was thinking of them, holding them in their thoughts and wishing them well. It was a connection that transcended the physical constraints of the world, a reminder that love and hope could traverse even the greatest of distances. As the travelers set their letters aside, they would sit quietly for a moment, allowing the peace of the evening to settle around them. The world outside was hushed, the only sound the gentle rustling of leaves in the breeze. It was a time for reflection, for gathering strength for the days ahead. The letters, now tucked safely away, were a part of them, a testament to their journey and a promise of what was to come. And so they would rest, their hearts lightened by the knowledge that, though the road was long and the future uncertain, they were not alone. Each word written, each letter sent, was a thread in the tapestry of their lives, weaving together the past and the present, the here and the now. It was a rhythm as steady and reassuring as the journey itself, a reminder that in the vastness of the world, they were connected by the bonds of love and the shared dream of brighter tomorrows. As the night deepened, the gentle rocking of the ship became a soothing lullaby, its rhythm a constant companion on this vast journey. The passengers aboard the Titanic, each in their own world of thoughts and dreams, found solace in the quiet moments of reflection. The letters they had penned earlier lay safely tucked away, each one carrying a piece of their heart, a whisper of their hopes and dreams. Among the many on this grand vessel was a young woman named Margaret, whose hands had crafted a letter filled with tender thoughts and gentle reassurances to her family back home. Her words, written with care and love, spoke of the marvels she had seen and the people she had met. Margaret, with her thoughtful nature and curious spirit, found joy in the small details of life on board, from the soft glow of candlelight at dinner to the laughter that echoed in the corridors. Her letter captured these moments, painting a picture of a world both vast and intimate, a world where connections were woven through shared experiences and quiet conversations. In another part of the ship, a gentleman named Thomas, whose life had been shaped by the sea, wrote to his son with a steady hand. His words were filled with wisdom and a sense of adventure, drawing upon his years of experience on the ocean's waves. Thomas spoke of the ship's magnificence, its towering masts and gleaming decks, and the camaraderie among the crew and passengers alike. His letter was a testament to the enduring spirit of exploration, a legacy he hoped to pass on to the next generation. As the evening wore on, the ship continued its steady course through the night, the vast expanse of water a reminder of the journey they were all on together. The stars above, scattered like jewels across a velvet sky, seemed to watch over them, a silent witness to the stories unfolding beneath their gaze. Margaret, having set aside her letter, took a moment to reflect on her own place in this great adventure. She thought of the journey that lay ahead, the new horizons and possibilities waiting to be discovered. Her heart was filled with a quiet determination, a resolve to embrace whatever the future held with grace and courage. In her mind, she could hear the gentle murmur of the sea, a timeless melody that spoke of both the past and the promise of what was yet to come. Nearby, Thomas sat in a comfortable chair, the weight of the day's experiences resting lightly on his shoulders. He thought of his son, of the lessons he hoped to impart through his words and actions. It was a comfort to know that, even separated by distance, they remained connected through the stories they shared and the dreams they pursued. In the quiet of the night, Thomas found peace in the knowledge that his journey was part of a larger tapestry, one woven from the threads of history and the shared human experience. As the ship sailed onward, the letters they had written became more than just words on a page. They were a bridge across time and space, a connection to loved ones, and a testament to the enduring power of hope and love. Each letter carried with it a piece of the writer's soul, a reminder that, even in the vastness of the world, they were never truly alone. And so, as the night deepened and the ship moved ever forward, Margaret and Thomas found comfort in the simple act of having shared their thoughts and dreams with those they held dear. Their letters, now safely tucked away, were a part of them, a gentle reminder of the ties that bound them to the past and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. As they settled into the tranquility of the evening, the world around them seemed to hold its breath, a moment suspended in time, filled with the quiet assurance that comes from knowing one is part of something greater than oneself. In the twilight of that serene evening, the gentle rustle of leaves whispered secrets carried by the cool breeze. The world seemed to cradle them, enveloping them in a cocoon of tranquility. It was as if the universe itself was aware of the importance of this gathering, of the stories that were about to be shared, and the connections about to be rekindled. As the moon cast a silvery glow over the gathering, a voice broke the silence, soft yet resonant, full of warmth and the wisdom of years. It was Grandmother Elise, her eyes twinkling with the memories of a life well lived. She began to recount tales from her youth, stories of love, of loss, and of the indomitable spirit of those who came before them. "My dearest family," she began, her voice steady and comforting. "There was a time when these woods were our sanctuary. We would gather just like this, under the same stars, to share our joys and our sorrows." As she spoke, the younger ones listened intently, their imaginations painting vivid pictures of days gone by. It was as if they could see the young Elise, filled with hope and dreams, running through the fields, her laughter echoing through the trees. Then, as if inspired by the moment, young Sarah pulled out a small, leather-bound journal from her satchel. "I found this in the attic," she said shyly. "It's from great-grandfather Thomas. Would you mind if I read a bit?" The group nodded eagerly, curiosity piqued. Sarah opened the journal, the pages yellowed with age, and began to read aloud. "April 14th, 1923, she began, her voice clear and steady. "Dearest Rose, today I walked the path we used to tread together. The trees have grown tall and strong, much like the love I hold in my heart for you. Each step I take is a step closer to you, though miles may separate us. I find solace in the thought that we are gazing at the same moon, under the same sky." As Sarah continued, the words seemed to weave a tapestry of emotions, the distance and longing palpable in each line. The family listened, enraptured, as great-grandfather Thomas's words painted a portrait of a love that transcended time and space. "July 21st, 1923, Sarah read on. "Today, the rain came as if to wash away the dust of longing. I stood at the window, watching the world blur and meld into a watercolor of greens and grays. I imagined you beside me, your hand in mine, as we watched the rain dance upon the earth. My heart swells with the hope that soon, my dear Rose, you and I shall dance once more." The diary entries carried with them a tenderness, an intimacy that bridged the gap between past and present. As Sarah closed the journal, a gentle sigh swept through the gathering, a collective exhale of shared emotion. "Love has always been at the heart of our family," Grandmother Elise murmured, wiping a tear from her eye. "It binds us, strengthens us, and reminds us of what truly matters." In the quiet that followed, the crackling of the fire seemed to echo the sentiments of the evening. The family sat together, united by the stories of those who came before, by the love that had been passed down through generations like a precious heirloom. Then, as if to punctuate the moment, little Emily, the youngest of them all, stood up, her small voice piping through the night. "Can I sing a song?" she asked, her eyes wide and earnest. "Of course, dear," Grandmother Elise replied with a smile, nodding encouragingly. Emily began to sing a lullaby passed down from her ancestors, her sweet voice rising and falling. Like a gentle Emily's sweet voice rose softly within the room, her song weaving through the warm air like a gentle breeze. Each note carried echoes of the past, a lullaby that had cradled generations to sleep, and as her song filled the space, it seemed to reach beyond the walls, touching the very heart of the town that lay outside. The night settled deeply over the town, a quiet village nestled near the river's bend, where the water flowed with its own rhythmic grace. The river was a constant companion to the townsfolk, its gentle murmur a backdrop to their lives, offering a soothing melody that wove through their days and nights. By day, the river was alive with activity, its banks a hub of gentle commerce and simple pleasures. Children could often be seen skipping stones across its surface, their laughter mingling with the sound of water lapping at the shore. Fishermen lined its edges, their lines cast into the depths, patient and hopeful for a good catch to take home. The town itself was a tapestry of sounds, a medley that shifted with the hours. In the morning, the streets echoed with the clatter of horse-drawn carriages and the cheerful greetings of shopkeepers opening their doors to the day's first customers. The air was sweet with the scent of freshly baked bread wafting from the bakery where early risers gathered for a warm loaf and news of the day. Nearby, the blacksmith's hammer rang out a steady rhythm, a sound both familiar and reassuring, marking the passage of time with each resounding strike on anvil. As the day unfolded, the market square became a flurry of activity, a place where townsfolk gathered to exchange goods and stories. Stalls brimmed with vibrant produce, and the air buzzed with the gentle hum of conversation. punctuated by the occasional call of a vendor hawking their wares. The cobblestones underfoot were worn smooth by countless footsteps, a testament to the generations who had walked these paths before. In the afternoon, as the sun dipped lower in the sky, the pace of the town shifted, the hustle and bustle giving way to a more leisurely rhythm. It was a time for rest, for sitting by the river's edge or beneath the shade of a broad oak tree, where the rustle of leaves created a soothing symphony with the whispering water. Families gathered for picnics, spreading blankets on the grass, their laughter mingling with the soft rustle of the breeze. Yet, it was in the evening that the town truly embraced its quiet charm. As the sun set, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold, the streets grew still, the day's activity gently winding down. Lamps flickered to life, casting a warm glow over the cobblestones, while the river mirrored the sky's colors, a ribbon of light threading through the darkening landscape. In these moments, the town seemed to hold its breath, a peaceful pause before the night fully descended. People gathered in parlors and around tables, sharing quiet conversations and stories of the day. The air was filled with the gentle clink of teacups and the comforting crackle of fires as families settled into the warmth of their homes. It was a place where customs held strong, where traditions were cherished and passed down like treasures. The townsfolk took pride in their heritage, in the simple rituals that marked the passing of time. On Sundays, the church bell tolled, calling the faithful to gather, their voices rising in song, a hymn that echoed through the town, weaving a tapestry of sound that embraced every soul. But it was the river that remained the heart of the town, its presence a constant reminder of the past, a thread that linked the present to the days of old. It had seen joy and sorrow, prosperity and hardship, its waters a silent witness to the unfolding story of the town and its people. As Emily's song gently came to an end, the room filled with a serene stillness, a shared sense of connection that transcended time. The family sat together, their hearts warmed by the bonds of love and memory, by the stories that had been told and those yet to be shared. In the quiet of the night, as the river sang its age-old song, the town and its people rested, cradled in the embrace of history and home. The night unfolded like a well-worn quilt, draping itself across the slumbering town. The soft murmur of the river wove through the streets, its gentle whispers a lullaby that blended with the symphony of nocturnal creatures. Crickets chirped in harmonious cadence, their melodies echoing off the cobblestones, merging with the distant hoot of an owl perched in the ancient oak that stood at the heart of the village square. This oak, with its gnarled branches reaching skyward, seemed to cradle the stars themselves, a guardian over the tales etched into the bark of time. In the distance, a faint clattering broke the serenity as the night train rolled through, a familiar rumble that resonated with those who lay in their beds, half awake, comforted by its predictability. It carried whispers of faraway places, yet always returned, like a wayward traveler with stories to tell. The train's whistle, a lonesome yet reassuring call, reminded the villagers of the world beyond their own, yet never disturbed the peace they cherished. Along the riverbank, the habits of the waterway unfolded in a gentle rhythm. The river, a lifeline for the town, had its own customs, its own way of marking the passage of time. Each bend and ripple held secrets, known only to those who took the time to listen. The early risers of the town, fishermen mostly, understood this language. They would gather in the pre-dawn haze, when the mist clung to the water like a shroud, casting their lines with the knowledge that patience was a virtue rewarded by the river. The trails that wove through the forests and meadows were another testament to the town's enduring relationship with nature. Worn smooth by countless footsteps, they were pathways not just through the land, but through the history of those who had walked them. Trails had a way of teaching their own lessons, of instilling a quiet etiquette among those who journeyed upon them. Here, greetings were exchanged with a nod or a smile, and those who paused to listen could hear the stories carried on the wind, whispered by the trees that stood sentinel along the way. In the heart of the town, customs were as deeply rooted as the oak itself. The evening before, the townspeople had gathered in the square as they often did, not for any special occasion, but simply to be together. There was comfort in these rituals, in the shared laughter and the familiar faces that greeted one another with warmth. Children played beneath the twinkling lights strung from one side of the square to the other, their laughter a thread that wove through the conversations of the adults who watched over them. These moments, though simple, were the lifeblood of the community, a testament to the bonds that held them together. As the night deepened, the town seemed to breathe in unison, a collective sigh of contentment. Windows glowed softly where candles flickered, casting shadows that danced across walls and ceilings. Inside, families settled into their routines, stories shared from one generation to the next, a tapestry of memories woven with love and laughter. These stories, passed down through time, were the heartbeats of the town, each one a testament to the resilience and spirit of those who called it home. And so, beneath the watchful gaze of the stars, the town rested. The river continued its eternal song, a melody that would greet the dawn with the same grace it had sung to the night. The trails awaited the footsteps of another day, ready to cradle the hopes and dreams of those who ventured upon them. And the town, cradled in the embrace of history and home, slept soundly, confident in the knowledge that it would awaken to another day, another chapter in its enduring story. With the first light of dawn, the cycle would begin anew, the town stirring to life as it had for generations. The tranquil cadence of the town's sleep mirrored the gentle sway of the ocean, where the great ship Titanic once sailed. Far from the quiet village streets and softly glowing windows, the vast expanse of the Atlantic had been the stage for a story both grand and poignant. As the ship had cut through the dark waters, its passengers, much like the townsfolk, were wrapped in their own stories, dreams, and the quiet anticipation of what awaited them. Among them were 3 travelers, whose lives were forever intertwined by the journey they shared. In the hushed corridors of the ship, where the murmur of conversations and the faint clinking of fine china could be heard, the atmosphere was filled with an air of expectation. The Titanic was a marvel of her time, a floating palace where luxury and innovation met. The passengers on board were from all walks of life, each carrying with them the hopes and aspirations that had led them to embark on this monumental voyage. The gentle hum of the engines was a soothing backdrop to the elegant banquets and lively dances that filled the evenings, as laughter and music drifted through the grand halls. Amidst this grandeur, the 3 travelers found themselves drawn together by chance and circumstance. There was Eleanor, with her keen eye for detail and a heart full of curiosity. She often wandered the decks, taking in the vastness of the ocean and the stories of those who crossed her path. Her journal was her constant companion, its pages filled with observations and musings, a testament to her thoughtful nature. In one of her entries, she reflected on the ship's journey, writing of the endless horizon and the promise of new beginnings that lay beyond it. Her words were a quiet echo of the hopes shared by many on board. Then there was Thomas, a man of quiet strength and introspection. He was often found in the library, surrounded by books that offered solace and escape. His letters home were filled with tales of the ship's opulence, the friendships he had formed, and the dreams he held for the future. In one of his letters, he described a night spent on the deck, where the stars shone with a brilliance that seemed almost otherworldly. The vastness of the sky and sea reminded him of the boundless possibilities ahead, a sentiment that resonated deeply with him. And finally, there was Margaret, whose warmth and generosity endeared her to all who met her. Her presence was a comforting balm, her laughter a melody that lifted the spirits of those around her. She often spoke of her family with great fondness, her stories weaving a tapestry of love and connection that spanned oceans. In quiet moments, she would sit by a window, gazing out at the ocean, her thoughts drifting to those she held dear. Her letters home painted vivid pictures of life on board, capturing both the grandeur and the simple joys of the journey. As the days passed, the travelers settled into the rhythm of life at sea, their routines a comforting constant amidst the ever-changing seascape. Mealtimes were occasions of shared stories and laughter, the clatter of cutlery and the clinking of glasses a familiar symphony. The ship, a world unto itself, was a microcosm of society, where friendships blossomed and dreams took flight. Yet, as with all stories, there came a turning point, a moment where the course of events shifted, leaving an indelible mark on all who experienced it. In the quiet hours of a moonlit night, the great ship met its fate, a collision with an iceberg that sent ripples through the lives of those on board. The stillness of the night was shattered, replaced by a flurry of activity and the urgent call to action. The air was filled with the sound of footsteps, voices raised in both fear and reassurance, as passengers and crew worked together to navigate the unfolding events. The travelers, like many others, faced this moment with a blend of courage and resolve. Eleanor, Thomas, and Margaret found themselves woven tighter into the fabric of this shared experience, their bonds strengthened by the trials they faced together. In the midst of uncertainty, there was a profound sense of community, a reminder that even in the most challenging times, the human spirit is capable of great resilience and kindness. As dawn broke over the ocean, painting the sky in hues of soft pink and gold, the survivors were met with a new reality. The journey that had begun with such promise had taken an unexpected turn, yet within this turning point lay the seeds of new beginnings. The travelers carried with them the memories of their time on the Titanic, the friendships formed, and the lessons learned. Their stories, like those of the town nestled by the river, became part of a larger tapestry, one that would be shared and remembered for generations to come. In the quiet reflection of the days that followed, Eleanor, Thomas, and Margaret found solace in the knowledge that they were part of a narrative much larger than themselves. Their experiences, though marked by challenge, were also rich with meaning and depth. And so, as the ship of their lives sailed forward into new horizons, they carried with them the echoes of the past, the lessons of the present, and the hope of what lay ahead. The sea, like the river, continued its eternal song, a reminder that life, with all its turns and tides, is a journey to be cherished. As the survivors settled into their new lives, each day was a gentle unfolding of routine and reflection. Eleanor often found herself in quiet moments, contemplating the vastness of the ocean that had carried them through such a tumultuous journey. Sitting by her window, she would gaze out at the endless horizon, where the sky kissed the sea and let her thoughts drift like the clouds above. Her mind would wander back to the days aboard the Titanic, to the laughter that had filled the grand dining rooms, the music that had floated through the halls, and the camaraderie that had blossomed amidst strangers. It was a time of new beginnings and dreams set adrift on the sea's vast expanse. She thought of the dear friends she had made, those who had shared stories of home and hopes for the future, and she felt a warmth in her heart, a testament to the bonds formed in the face of adversity. Eleanor often penned her thoughts in letters to her sister, her pen gliding smoothly over the paper, weaving tales of the past into the fabric of the present. In these letters, she recounted not only the events, but also the emotions that had accompanied them. The sense of awe at the Titanic's grandeur, the quiet fear that had whispered in the night, and the unyielding hope that had buoyed their spirits. Thomas, meanwhile, had found solace in routine. Each morning, he would rise with the sun, the golden light casting a soft glow over his modest surroundings. He would brew a cup of tea, savoring the simple pleasure of the warmth seeping into his hands, and take a moment to breathe in the fresh morning air. It was in these moments of stillness that he found clarity, a time to reflect on the journey that had led him here. His mind often drifted to the people he had met aboard the ship, the faces that had become familiar in the brief yet intense period they had shared. There was Margaret, with her quiet strength and gentle smile, who had been a source of comfort and support. He remembered the conversations they had shared, the dreams they had spoken of as the ship sailed through the night. It was a reminder of the resilience of the human spirit, the capacity for kindness, even in the face of the unknown. In the evenings, as the world around him settled into the embrace of twilight, Thomas would sit by the fire, the soft crackling of the logs a comforting sound in the quiet room. He would let his thoughts flow freely, a stream of memories and reflections that brought both peace and understanding. The past, with its joys and sorrows, had become a part of who he was, a tapestry woven with threads of experience and time. Margaret found her own moments of reflection in the garden, where the gentle rustling of leaves and the sweet scent of blooming flowers created a sanctuary of calm. Here she tended to her plants, her hands working the soil with care and attention, each movement a meditation in itself. It was a space where she could be alone with her thoughts, where the memories of the Titanic journey blended seamlessly with the present. She often thought of the many lives that had intersected with hers on that fateful voyage, the stories that had been shared in quiet corners and bustling decks. There was a beauty in the diversity of experiences, a richness that had added depth to her own narrative. As she tended to her garden, she pondered the lessons she had learned, the strength she had discovered within herself, and the compassion that had blossomed in the hearts of those around her. In the midst of these quiet reflections, a letter from Eleanor would often arrive, a tangible connection to the past and a bridge to the present. Margaret would read Eleanor's words with a sense of familiarity, the stories echoing her own memories, and she would feel a sense of kinship with those who had shared the journey. These letters were more than just words on a page. They were a reminder of the enduring connections that had been forged, the friendships that had weathered the storm and emerged stronger. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, the survivors found themselves embracing the rhythm of life once more. The routines that had been established provided a sense of stability, a foundation upon which they could build their new lives. Yet, within these routines lay moments of introspection, opportunities to revisit the past and draw strength from the experiences that had shaped them. In these contemplative moments, Eleanor, Thomas, and Margaret found a sense of peace, a quiet understanding that the journey they had embarked upon was not just a physical one, but also a journey of the heart and soul. The memories of the Titanic, the friendships formed, and the lessons learned became an integral part of their stories, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of hope. As they looked to the future, the past remained a gentle presence, a source of comfort and inspiration. The ocean, with its ceaseless ebb and flow, served as a reminder that life, like the sea, is ever changing, a tapestry woven with the threads of time and experience. and in the stillness of the night, as the stars twinkled above, they found solace in the knowledge that they were part of a larger narrative, one that would continue to unfold with grace and beauty. In the gentle rhythm of their newfound routines, Eleanor, Thomas, and Margaret discovered the small, tender moments that defined their daily lives. Each day began with the soft light of dawn, filtering through their windows, casting a warm glow that gradually stirred them from slumber. Eleanor would rise first, the quiet of the morning offering her a moment of reflection. The simple act of preparing tea became a ritual, the steam rising from the cup like a delicate promise of the day ahead. As she sipped the fragrant brew, she reflected on letters she had recently received from friends who had shared her voyage. Their words, penned in the familiar hands, wove stories of resilience and optimism, offering a connection that spanned both time and distance. The comforting clink of china cups and the soft rustle of newspaper pages marked the beginning of Thomas's day. He found solace in the routine of scanning the headlines, which, though often filled with the trials of the world, also spoke of progress and hope. The familiar scent of newsprint and the light scratching of a pencil as he made notes were as much a part of his morning as the gentle hum of the city awakening outside his window in the margins of those papers. Thomas often scribbled thoughts and observations, small reminders to himself of the resilience that had carried him through the darkest hours. Margaret, too, found comfort in the daily rhythms. Her mornings were filled with the simple pleasures of tending to her small garden, the earth cool and yielding beneath her fingers. The act of nurturing life, coaxing blooms from the soil, was a testament to the cycles of renewal that mirrored her own journey. As she gently watered her plants, the droplets glistening in the morning light, she often paused to listen to the birdsong, a melody that spoke of hope and continuity. It was amidst these quiet tasks that Margaret contemplated the letters she had received, words that spoke of shared memories and dreams yet to be realized. As the days unfolded, the soft cadence of their lives was punctuated by moments of reflection and connection. Eleanor, Thomas, and Margaret often gathered in the evenings, their conversations weaving a tapestry of shared experiences and future aspirations. The flickering warmth of a fireplace and the gentle glow of lantern light set the scene for these gatherings, where laughter mingled with thoughtful silences. It was during these moments that they revisited the letters, each missive a thread in the larger story of their lives. The words, imbued with emotion and sincerity, were reminders of the bonds forged in the face of adversity. The evenings also brought time for personal reflection, a chance to pen their own letters to those who had meant so much during their journey. Eleanor found herself recounting the small victories of everyday life, the joy of a new friendship, or the satisfaction of a task completed. In her letters, she sought to capture the essence of hope that had sustained her, sharing it with those who had stood beside her in spirit. Thomas, too, wrote with a sense of purpose, his words a testament to the strength of the human spirit. He often included sketches, small drawings that illustrated the world as he saw it, a place filled with promise and potential. Margaret's letters were filled with the warmth of her heart, her words a gentle reflection of the kindness she had encountered and the dreams she held dear. She wrote of her garden, of the blooms that mirrored her own journey of growth and renewal. Her letters were a balm, soothing and uplifting, reminders of the bonds that transcended distance and time. As their letters traveled across the miles, they carried with them the echoes of shared laughter, whispered confidences, and the quiet resilience that had defined their journey. In these routines, Eleanor, Thomas, and Margaret found more than just the comfort of familiarity. They discovered the strength and beauty in the small, everyday moments that defined their lives. Each task, no matter how mundane, was an opportunity for introspection and gratitude, a chance to honor the journey they had embarked upon. The gentle rhythms of their days, punctuated by the soft rustle of paper and the quiet murmur of conversation, were a testament to the enduring power of hope and connection. As the stars appeared once more in the night sky, their light a gentle reminder of the vastness of the universe, Eleanor, Thomas, and Margaret found peace in the knowledge that their stories were part of a larger narrative. The letters they received and those they sent were threads that wove through the tapestry of their lives, binding them to one another and to the world beyond. And in the stillness of the night, as the world around them settled into slumber, they embraced the quiet certainty that life, with its endless possibilities and gentle rhythms, was a journey to be savored and cherished. In the quiet solitude of the ship's cabin, Eleanor found herself enveloped by the calming presence of the sea. The gentle lapping of the waves against the hull was a comforting rhythm, one that seemed to echo the steady beat of her heart. She sat by a small window, the glass slightly fogged from the cool night air, and watched as the stars above mirrored their brilliance on the dark surface of the ocean. The moon cast a silvery path across the water, a bridge of light that connected her to the vast unknown. In these moments, the world felt both infinite and intimate, a paradox that brought her a profound sense of peace. The cabin itself was a cocoon of warmth and familiarity. The soft glow of a single lamp illuminated the room, casting gentle shadows that danced across the wooden walls. Its light reflected off the brass fittings, giving them a warm, golden sheen. Eleanor could hear the faint creaking of the ship's timbers as it cut through the water, a sound that reminded her of the steady progress they were making towards their destination. The scent of salt lingered in the air, mingling with the faint aroma of polished wood, creating an olfactory tapestry that was both soothing and invigorating. As she sat there, Eleanor's thoughts drifted to her companions, Thomas and Margaret, who were likely engaged in their own evening rituals. She imagined Thomas in the quiet solitude of the ship's deck, the wind ruffling his hair as he gazed out at the horizon. The cool breeze would carry with it a hint of adventure, the promise of new beginnings. Thomas had always been drawn to the sea, its vastness a source of inspiration and reflection. She could picture him leaning against the rail, a silent sentinel keeping watch over the night's embrace. Margaret, on the other hand, would be busy writing at her small desk, her pen scratching softly against the paper. The letters she crafted were filled with poetic musings and heartfelt sentiments, a testament to her introspective nature. Eleanor could almost hear the gentle rustle of the pages as Margaret paused to ponder her next words, the quiet of the room punctuated by the occasional sigh or murmur of thought. In these letters, Margaret found a way to connect with the world beyond, to weave her own narrative into the tapestry of life. The ship itself seemed to be alive, a vessel carrying not only passengers, but also dreams and stories. The corridors were lined with the quiet hum of activity, the soft footfalls of those who wandered the ship's many decks. The crew moved with a practiced ease, their movements a ballet of efficiency and grace. They navigated the narrow passages with a familiarity that spoke of countless journeys, their presence a reassuring constant in the ever-changing sea of faces. Eleanor's gaze returned to the window, where the stars continued their silent vigil. She imagined the lives of those twinkling lights, each one a distant sun, a beacon in the vastness of space. It was a comforting thought that despite the enormity of the universe, they were all connected by the same celestial dance. The night sky was a canvas of possibilities, a reminder that each day was a chance to write a new chapter in the story of life. In the stillness of her cabin, Eleanor allowed herself to sink deeper into this moment of reflection. The world outside was a mystery, a tapestry woven from countless threads of experience and emotion. Yet within these walls, she found a sanctuary of peace and introspection. The simple act of being, of existing in this space and time, was a gift to be cherished. As the night wore on, Eleanor's thoughts turned once more to the letters she had written and received. Each one was a bridge, a connection to loved ones and friends who were far away. The words on the page were more than just ink and paper, they were expressions of love, hope, and resilience. In reading them, she felt the warmth of shared memories and the promise of future reunions. The gentle rocking of the ship lulled Eleanor into a state of tranquility, her eyelids growing heavy with the weight of the day's reflections. She knew that soon she would succumb to the embrace of sleep, a welcome respite from the world's demands. But for now, she lingered in the quietude, savoring the harmony of the moment. Outside, the sea continued its ceaseless journey, the waves whispering secrets to the night. Eleanor closed her eyes, allowing the sounds to wash over her, a lullaby that cradled her in its gentle rhythm. It was in this peaceful state that she found a renewed sense of gratitude for the journey she was on, the people she had met, and the memories she had created. In the sanctuary of her cabin, Eleanor embraced the stillness, the beauty of the world wrapped around her like a comforting cloak. The night was her companion, the stars her guides, and in their presence, she felt a profound sense of belonging. As sleep beckoned, she surrendered to its call, her dreams a continuation of the stories she held dear. The ship sailed on, carrying its passengers toward new horizons, each one a part of the grand tapestry of life. In the gentle embrace of the night, Eleanor's thoughts drifted like the stars that adorned the sky above, each a beacon of light and memory. The ocean's whispers, a familiar and comforting presence, harmonized with the soft creaking of the ship as it continued its voyage through the vast and endless sea. Her mind wandered back to the letters she had written, each one a tangible connection to the world beyond the horizon, a testament to the enduring bonds of love and friendship that transcended distance, time. She thought of her companions on this journey, those whose stories had intertwined with hers, creating a tapestry of shared experiences and dreams. Their voices, though now quiet, lingered in the corners of her mind, each one a reminder of the strength and resilience found in unity. As the ship sailed onward, she felt a deep sense of peace, knowing that each person carried with them the echoes of those they had met, the lessons they had learned, and the hopes they held close to their hearts. In the stillness of her cabin, Eleanor allowed herself to reflect on the voyage that lay ahead, the uncertainties that awaited beyond the horizon. Yet, in the quiet, she found comfort in the knowledge that she was part of something greater, a journey shared by many, each step guided by the stars above. The night, with its soothing presence, held her in its gentle embrace, a reminder that even in the vastness of the world, she was never truly alone. As her thoughts began to fade, Eleanor felt the gentle pull of sleep, a serene surrender to the dreams that awaited her. The soft lullaby of the ocean, the rhythmic heartbeat of the ship, and the tender glow of the stars all conspired to weave a cocoon of tranquility around her. In this sacred space, she felt the weight of the day's reflections lift, replaced by a serene acceptance of the present moment. She imagined the letters she had written, each one a piece of her heart sent across the miles, reaching loved ones with messages of hope and longing. In her mind's eye, she saw these letters delivered, the joy and comfort they would bring, a testament to the enduring power of connection. And as she drifted into the gentle arms of sleep, Eleanor knew that these bonds, though stretched across the sea, remained unbroken, a reminder that love and friendship could transcend even the greatest of distances. The night deepened, wrapping the ship in its tender embrace. A world of dreams and whispers that carried the passengers onward. Eleanor, now adrift in her own sea of dreams, felt the warmth of the stars above, their light a guiding force that illuminated her path. In the quiet, she found peace, a stillness that resonated with the gentle rhythm of the waves and the steady pulse of life itself. As the ship sailed steadily on its course, the stories and memories of its passengers mingled with the night air, each one a part of the grand tapestry of life. In the quiet, their voices became a gentle hush, a shared melody that united them all in this journey across the sea. And so, with a heart full of gratitude and a spirit at ease, Eleanor surrendered to the night, her dreams a continuation of the stories she cherished, cradled by the soothing lullaby of the ocean.